It is Service Delivery Month at the Economic Freedom Fighters, and we're here at Bree Street, where 2 years ago there was an explosion. We're here to see what progress has been made, has not been made, and what can be done about it.
In 2023, I was doing hair at the corner there. I just heard the explosion from nowhere.
A very serious story that happened overnight and late last night.
You can just have a look at what we're seeing now.
Bree Street, at least one person died and 48 others were injured.
The urgent investigation into the massive explosion caught on camera.
5 blocks and at least 6 roads with.
Because I was busy, I just turned back my head. I just see taxis upside down. I don't know what happened exactly. Because just happened without knowing.
And since then, how has it affected your business since the explosion and since they're still fixing it?
Oh, it affected us too much because now we don't have customers. It used to be a busy road. This was Bree Road. It was a busy road, so the business was fine before explosion. Now the business is very low.
You've seen an increase in crime and stealing since the explosion happened?
Because this thing, you see this, you can take video, then people is stop here, then he take a phone, and people can't run away.
So have you also seen a drop in customers since this was up?
Like this condition, nobody can come because no traffic, nothing here. So nobody, no people have shop here, business have here.
So how long did you think it was going to take for them to fix it?
I don't know. This is a corruption. I don't know how many areas here now is blasted.
It's almost 2 years, yes.
So what is this small road is not fixing? What means this one?
So what do you think the future of your store is where the long and close?
We're going to close soon. Yeah,
You're going to have to close down soon?
Yeah, we have to soon close. We are losing money here. Already our shop empty, no stock.
Ilamazenke ninama lamazenke lawo ngokuthini angithi kwaqhuma uBree lomgwaqo awupheli lamazenke lawa la abangele inkunzi yakhona too much
inkunzi indlela ama-shops amaningi avaliwe le business.
mathayela lawa asazi mathayela noma yini abanga inkunzi business thina lesidayisa emgwaqweni nalesihlala lana akusana lutho botsotsi bakhanda bayaluka la bathathe amafoni kahle ngoba ababonwa ngumuntu so sicela nisilamulele Nkosi yami ukuthi 2 years 3 years azobala ngokuphatha kancane noma government noma yini I know siyacela thina sesibadala kumungwe amafoni nje ngoba basicindezela kanje enze ngathi uyandlula kana kandlulisa ngidlula nefoni yethu baphithiza la emathayeleni siyacela ukuthi nisisize ene ngifavor yona le EFF.
Joining me today is the Economic Freedom Fighters MMC for Public Safety in Johannesburg, Dr. Mgcini Chwaku. We're going to ask him some questions and get to the bottom of this. Good morning, Doctor. How are you?
I'm good, Debu. How are you?
I'm fine, thanks.
Excellent.
We are here at Bree Street,
Yeah.
almost 2 years after the explosion.
Yes, ma'am.
The roads are still closed,
Yeah.
200 million rand in contracts.
Yeah.
Can you tell us what exactly is going on?
Look, no, thank you very much for that. Look, when this incident happened, right, there was a lot of interest, okay? The Department of Public Safety, through the disaster management, wrote a report and declared a disaster. So there's been a back and forth with the province to a point that the funding was declined. Okay, so the city had to find alternative means to really fund the place. And you remember that time, the city financially was not stable at all. We didn't have money at all. So we did not have even also the national coming on board. They were taking too long. Okay, so hence I'm saying that this IGR that is going to happen, mixing the local government and working with the province and national, it's a good thing. And to know that also in the EFF we're saying that really we must do away with the provinces. We must rather have national working direct with the local sphere, because that's where implementation is happening. So yeah, that's actually what happened. So there's been a back and forth, lack of funding, and also these also allegations that there were people that were hired and fraudulently and all of that, don't have certificates and all of that. But I know that the mayor committee and also the mayor and also MMC Kenya are actually working on this issue here. But there seems to be a progress. I know that we also at the Maycom have, it's actually part of the priorities that this Bree Street, it must be opened. As you can see, construction is going on. You've got this called the culverts. Culverts are here, which is a good thing. So they are going to open up the road and then they're going to put these blocks, because underneath here you've got cables. So it's a very good that's happening. I hope that probably by the end of the year, most probably, I'm not sure about the schedule, but it's going to open up. But the central part was a lack of budget. When we wrote the disaster report, it was the city, the province, they rejected it. So it stalled, the government thing, they stalled for a long time. You applied national, they spawned on their own time. And remember that time there was also the political contestation with different political parties. But I think that as the EFF that time, we said, we've declared that we want to put political differences aside for the sake of service delivery. So yeah, there's something that is happening here now.
I would like to find out, as going back to the cause of the actual explosion,
Yes.
I think that has not been clarified.
Okay.
And we are also concerned, I think, people as citizens
Yes.
of Johannesburg,
Okay.
because it can happen again.
Yeah.
When and how will it happen again?
Okay.
There's a fear.
Yeah.
So can we go back to what is the cause, what is being done about the cause,
Yeah.
and what can we look forward to being done across the city to prevent more accidents like this?
That's a very excellent question. Actually, I was waiting for it because many people, I don't know, they sort of there's a nice report and there are also articles that I've read, because this phenomenon in South Africa was, you can say, new. But when we did some research, me and my colleagues in the disaster and in the EMS, I've gave them some of the articles in terms of the causes of sorts of scenarios like this. There was one that happened in New York. Some of this phenomenon was seen in China as well, in other areas. But the one that was actually took interest of me was the one sort of, I think it was in New York, I think somewhere, yeah. What happened is that the article says that, underground, you will have, you have these culverts, you have the sewer lines, you have this sewer flowing, okay? So the sewer flowing, they actually the generation of methane. So over time, get a generation of methane gas, which is very flammable, okay? So you see this thing are culverts like that, like blocks like that. So you've got this long insertion of culverts all the way. So you've got a sort of a chamber, and then you've got this sewer that is flowing there, like solar wastewater, okay? Yeah. So the generation of methane. So over time, there was the generation of methane with thing, okay? And then, secondly, you got cables underneath as well. They are running down here as well, okay? And then, of course,
sorry to stop that. What kind of cables are you referring to?
Electric cables.
Wow. Okay.
Like they were, I think, 22 kVA cables, when you can buy high voltage cables, okay? They're very thick. And then you'll also have Igoli gas line as well there.
Yes.
Yeah. So you get the source of ignition. Sorry, the source of flame of organics. Again, it can be the sewer, because the sewer produces methane, or you can get a pinhole through the Igoli gas line, because also it's very flammable. And we don't know about when there were service and all of that. I think the guys, they must go and check their maintenance, because their maintenance, in the maintenance plan, what they do is that if you want to check if the pipe is proper, its lifeline is proper, you do what is called a wall thickness test. You can check over the years the wall of a pipe diminishes from 3 millimeters to some millimeters. So they will do the spot checks. But that will be the source of the
explosion.
No, the form of the I don't know, hydro. I'm looking for a word, because you have in a fire triangle. For you to have fire, you need to have the source, the ignition source.
Yes.
You must have the fuel.
Yes.
And then you must have the three, and then it's the source, the ignition, and then you must have the correct environment. Okay. So So that's what happened. So the source of that flame, of the organic, the fuel, we think that it was from methane and all of that, or the pinhole. So remember the time there was a manhole.
Yes.
Right. So that manhole, it was sealed. It was welded in because these people of the cable theft, the infrastructure guys, who are the guys who are stealing the cable, they will get into the store, they will cut the cable. So what the guys did now is to seal. They will seal that manhole. What happens when you seal the manhole? You get an accumulation of gas. So you had a lot of methane that will be in that chamber. All right. Now, the source of ignition can be a cigarette because there's a lot of people moving up and down here, right? Secondly, that time I asked them, was there any load shedding? They said, yes, there was load shedding. Someone said, when you look at the footage, when the electricity comes back, you put high voltage into those, right, into the cables.
Yeah.
When you put high cable in those, they start creating sparks because you have to energize them. So there's a creation of sparks. So those sparks, and then especially now, if it's a very old cable, you have not tested it, it will start burning inside and then creating, flames. So we think that was what might have happened, because even literature, they support that. And then someone said to me that they saw a smoke first coming out, a lot of smoke coming out.
Oh, wow.
Yes, a lot of smoke coming out. Then after that, it was boom, because now you had the ignition, the source of ignition, which was either the smoke or it was the cable when they were energizing it. And then you've got the chamber from there up to here that was full of
methane gas.
So you've got a bomb, by the way.
So
I don't
it's
have
a bomb waiting to happen.
It's a bomb, actually. What I did, look, it's a pity that I did a calculation, by the way, because I looked at the taxis when they were going up, right? You can say that when they're going up, you can, so the mass of the taxi, the length that they actually going up. You sort of calculate the force that of those things that when they went up, and then you can translate that in terms of estimation of the explosion is equivalent to how many dynamites. So there was a calculation I did that said, with that explosion, it's equivalent to so many dynamite. There's a calculation I did.
To a certain number of dynamites actually blowing up.
Yeah. What was happening there, the explosion, I did a calculation that will tell you the extent, the magnitude of that explosion is equivalent to so many dynamite. Almost
how many dynamites did you estimate?
I forgot. I can look at my report. I can look at my calculation, and I'll come back to you guys because look, that calculation I did about 2 years ago, but it was actually very huge because if you see the footage. In that stretch, lots of taxis went up and down. I mean that was quite a lot of energy. So I did share this report to some of my colleagues. There was an expert that was called in, so we had a chat. But obviously the report came out. But what we could not pinpoint 100% is to say where did that methane coming from. So there were two hypotheses, either from the pipe through a pinhole, or through the sewer, because the literature says that if like the sewer pipe, you'll have what you call a the digestion like the digestion that happens. Then it releases methane. The bugs in the sewers, they will generate those things. So it's in the literature, is there, but it's also a speculation because so we close that report like that. And then also what was one of the things that they're saying that one of the recommendations, of course, they are in that article as well that I was reading, is that the manholes, you must not seal them, you must not weld them, because you are creating now a pressure inside.
There's no room for
breathing.
Yes.
So in a tank, you must have what is called a vent, a breathing. Normally, when we design in chemical engineering those big tanks, you put a vent there. Like, the tanks, you see something like this, it's a vent.
Okay.
So you must have it, because tanks breathe. They need to breathe in and out, right? Even here, the chamber as well, it's the same. So you had the creation of pressure inside, and then the manhole was sealed because of the people who are of.
They wanted to prevent the theft.
Yes. So there are suggestions in the literature you can seal them, but you must create a vent. All right. And then also one of the suggestions that they said in the literature was to saying that inside these chambers there, you must have there's an infrared sensor. It actually detects faulty cables.
Oh wow.
Faulty cables. Right. If you Google that up and check it out, it's there. They say one of the things that they implemented in China, everywhere in these tables, is a detection to ensure that cables are serviced every single time. And then also those main holes must be closed, and then you create this breathing. Yeah, I mean,
for ventilation.
You must put those main holes where they're like a grid.
Yeah.
You know, people they just smoke and then
they can throw in
explosion. There are many. If you go to on things, if you go on the internet on Google, just say manhole explosions. You'll see them there. There are many of them.
Just the last bit of my last question. Yeah. Are we safe in Johannesburg?
No. What happens immediately after that? Through the former CM, they initiate in the previous administration, we've initiated a maintenance plan to go into these chambers to check what is happening, and also Igoli as well. They went and checked, the dual thickness test on their pipes. You remember that explosion happened again in Bram?
Yes.
Yeah, in Bram. Sort of, that was sort of the similar scenario, because when you open these things, you need to vent them out. You need to vent them properly and all those things. So that was the start of that maintenance. So for the past 2 years, we never actually had that. This is Dr. Shog reporting live from Bree in CBD. No, thank you very much. No, I'm here. I was doing the oversight in terms of the bridge to check how far is the bridge, the place is going, the road and the construction, all that. After that, the incident that actually happened last time of the blast and all of that, and also check if there's a security in the area, if the place has been secured. So, but while we're doing the oversight and checking, I met with these volunteers, very proper volunteers, which are doing a very marvelous job. These are the volunteers who are doing the cleaning in the city. They are in Cleaner Joe's. They belong to Cleaner Joe's, Cleaner City, ne? Yeah, Cleaner City. They're doing an excellent job. I think, as you can see, the City of Johannesburg is becoming very nice and actually neat. By the way, some of these volunteers, they were part of the project that we started when I was sworn in as an MMC. You remember we did that thing of Alama. The patrollers, we're trying to conceptualize a patroller to patrol the city and all of that. So we actually really catched up. I was very excited with the work that they are doing. As you can see here, like they're picking up papers, they're going street by street and all of that. So there's a good intention by the city, which is excellent to really clean that, so it's actually much appreciated. So I was talking to them really, and they said, I said to them, I really been having this kind of an idea in my mind where we should be flocking the MTN taxi rank. The areas like your Box Street, your Quads, your Klein Street, there's amazing areas go like Omar Rahima Musa, Small Street and everything, those are the streets where there's a high concentration of people. And it's actually normal during the day, it's actually very, very dirty. So they're actually working at different times and all of that. So my proposal to them would maybe somehow we must just find a way that we can get maybe 50 or 100 of them to concentrate in that area the whole day, trying to ensure that they keep it clean. We'll talk to the business people around the area so that really they try to support them. So I met up with them. It's quite nice. They're doing an excellent job. I was very impressed. If you go down, to the Britex rank there and you're coming up here, you can see it's very nice and neat. So but they told me that their contract is ending in May. So we really have to, because they belong to the Johannesburg city. So we'll have to talk to the city and my colleagues, especially the EM. Maybe you can see what can happen and all of that. But they're doing an excellent job. I was very, very impressed. I mean, if you're coming from Bramfontein, you go up, that the city is very clean. Cleanliness is very, very important. I mean, we take it very, very important, because if the city is clean and the area is clean, also that crime, you can see that the crime, in that area will be actually minimum, because thugs, they actually target areas where it's dirty, there's a sense of disorganization. So if the place is disorganized, it's dirty and all of that, then you can see that there's a trend that the crime can actually escalate in the area. But guys, thank you very much for stuff. We're going to meet again. We're going to meet again very soon. Maybe, I mean, they were proposing that we can do this intense cleaning in that area there. On Tuesdays, Saturdays, and Fridays, and Saturdays, which is excellent because that's a time where you've got a lot of people in the city moving up and down. So we'll engage with the business people around the area to see if there's any contribution to these volunteers that they can actually do. Our stakeholders around the city as well. But guys, good stuff, and it's something so that you can get them coffee at least in the morning. Coffee namagwinya. Manje namhlanje. Yeah, I get very inspired by what you guys are doing. It's very good. So at least bathenge ilikofu ke. Bathenge ilikofu nyana ama-scones nyana. Ungayithathi imali wena. Wathi wathengela ama-coffee nyana there were some cookies there and coffee. Yeah, but how many how many are you guys? Probably about 20 so, 22. So you will talk to this man right now. So when you're done, just relax and have some coffee. It's on me and coffee namaku. Sharp sharp.
We love you. MC. It's ours.
Sharp sharp guy. Thank you.
Continuing the Economic Freedom Fighters Service Delivery Month, we are here in Katherine Street, Sandton, where there is a sinkhole. What began in December 2023 as a small water leak has extended to this. Johannesburg Water has dug up holes that it has failed to fix. Eskom, which has been affected with the cables you can see, has failed to fix this problem. It has become an area of crime. It has become an area where there is not enough electricity and water for the residents surrounding us. The businesses that surround this area have also been affected since December 2023, and still there is no hope that anything will be fixed. This is one of many holes. Just like the Bree Street explosion, Katherine Street exists in many other places in Johannesburg, and it is time to say something and do something about it. Join us in this year of the picket lines and demand better for our cities. This is the time to stand with us and fight for what we deserve, to fight for our dignity and fight for better roads, for better infrastructure and better services. Hello, my name is Lebo from the Economic Freedom Fighters. Thank you for talking to us. Can you tell us the history of this sinkhole that is behind us?
I think June last year, they said there was a burst pipe. So now they had to repair the pipe. Okay, that was fair enough. We knew there was a burst pipe, struggle for a few days, then they have to change the pipe. But now, when we checked and made our own research, Joburg Water themselves, they made another damage. So
they were trying to fix this. They created another problem.
Yes. So now if you check, there is an underground breach, if you check properly by the hole. So I think the damage was part of that underground breach. They damaged whatever. Now they can't fix it. So I don't know if you need experts or you need engineering but now at this moment the worst part is that everybody is blaming each other. It's a blaming game.
So there's Joburg Water and who else?
And Eskom that I know of that has to do some work. I spoke to the lady on yesterday. She said Eskom was supposed to be working by Friday, but they haven't been working.
Like what is the situation with Eskom in relation to this hole?
With that, we got electricity. I don't know what should or what Eskom has to do. That I don't know. But we on our side, we do have electricity. Everything is fine. But now the business side.
Yes, how has it affected
a lot?
Business, which is now a petrol station.
100%. So we had to cut hours for the staff. Now, believe me, the next step, we are going for retrenchment.
Is this because you're not getting as many customers as before?
Yes, it has affected. If you drop with 120,000 liters per month that you used to make, then you drop with, let's say, 15,000 rand on the shop side, then that means there's something not right and something it's behind it. So now this hole is behind everything. So, but now the worst part, what I can tell you, those answers, we need answers, but you don't get the answers. That's the sad part. Who do you go to?
So when you say you've spoken to people, are you talking about Joburg Water, Eskom? Who have you engaged with this issue?
The local councillor?
Yes, her name is Linda. She's been trying, but now there isn't the right answers to say this is what's going to happen and it's going to happen on this date, or this is the situation. It's not going to happen, and no one, 100%, there's no clarity.
You have mentioned that there has been an increase in crime in the area since the hole. Can you tell me about that?
Yeah, at night, not safe. For there's as you see, there's a place called Metropolitan. This also, I think it's some apartments, whatever. So people normally, they used to walk here. There's a place called the Mark, going to the garage. So it used to be safe. But now it's not more safe because you don't know who you're going to meet at night, what's going to happen. And, there's been so many criminal activities. I remember we had a case with the cops once they came, but now I couldn't help them because we don't have a camera that is facing.
Yes.
Yeah, so...
You've mentioned that there's been a decrease in business since the hole. I'm wondering what kind of atmosphere is that created in your business, especially now that you're speaking about retrenchments?
Sometimes there's... if there's no solution in the business, then you get to a point where you need to... Because now we can't accommodate everyone, which is, and Shell won't say, let me put a hand. It's up to you, or it's in your hands as a retailer. So now we have to let others go, because now we don't have answers.
So what is the atmosphere in the workplace at the moment with looming retrenchments, lower, after business?
Definitely very bad, because now you don't know what to tell those workers and when is it going to happen, because now we are hoping, to tell you one other thing, the honest truth also, to say there's a new side that is going to be open on the side of the road. So we're supposed to prepare for that, to say we are on the right corner, there's going to be an engine, so this is what's going to happen. But now laying with this for almost a year now, because now we're getting to a year with no answers, then it's even worse, because now you don't even know. You're supposed to be planning for that. Now you can't plan for that because now you have a problem here. So all we want is answers, and say, hey, what's happening? Joburg Water, when you go to Joburg Water, they tell you about Eskom, Joburg Water. We are having a meeting, but that's the situation that we are facing.